Wow. Well, hopefully you can hear us, everyone. I'm sorry if there's some background noise. I just moved, and I'm sorry this might be a little ramshackle, but that's okay. All you're here to see are the minis. So, uh, yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm now 2 hours behind all of my Eastern Standard Time friends. So it's 7:30 for me, and it's 9:30 for Chris, who agreed to do this with me. uh, Trying out a new setup, so hopefully you guys like it. I appreciate you guys being here for the resurrection stream, I guess you could call it, of the Stream Many Things. If you haven't been subscribing to us, consider subscribing. Don't forget you get one free subscription with Twitch, or if you have an Amazon Prime account. So if you'd like to use that for us, we'd really appreciate it. Understand if not, though. We do have no announcements. Nothing's really coming on the horizon at the moment. But we do have a mini painting stream coming up that will probably be this Thursday, depending on how things go. So be sure to come out to that. I actually have the mini that I'll be painting most likely in the background. But without further ado, I am sorry to those of you who liked watching the boxes be opened. But we're going to go one at a time and try to go as slow as possible. I need my X-Acto knife, which I have no idea where it is. It should be over here, but it might not be. I will be right back. Chris, stall for me.
So I just finished moving into. Oh, it's not plugged in. I just finished moving into my new house this weekend, which was pretty much an ordeal that has gone on continuously from Friday until still earlier today. Right now I'm in the guest room / office. What for a good 24 hours was something we were referring to as the nightmare room, because it was just the room that everything was shoved in, just haphazardly, so that we could be organizing the other rooms. And then I did have to start clearing this room up, especially by tonight, because I'm pretty much sitting at my work desk right now, just with my laptop on top of it. So I work from home, and I will be working as of tomorrow. But this closet back here is filled to the brim with all of the boxes of my books. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that many when they're on all the bookshelves that are spread throughout the house, but like when they're all boxed up and taking up the entirety of like a solid like 10 square foot closet space, it becomes obvious. Plus, boxes of books are just the densest fucking things.
That is true. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the reason why we've been kind of on a hiatus, a lot of us have been moving. I actually moved out to Colorado, so if anyone ends up watching this who's in Colorado, hit me up on here or join the Discord. So, yeah, when you come visit, Chris, we have an amazing used bookstore that I think you will love. Yeah. But let's go ahead and dive into this brick of minis that's filling up this armoire faster than I'm happy with. Running out of room very quickly. So per usual, what we've done in the past, we're going to do the smaller minis first, and then we'll do the larger mini that we get. These are huge boxes, and for anyone who is interested, I will be doing unboxings of every single brick, so be sure to watch the VODs on YouTube, which will be up probably tomorrow or the day after. But without further ado, let's get started off with this small boy right here. 12 of 46. Let's see. We have the... why is it not showing the camera? We're going to close it off for a second and then reactivate it. Hopefully that works. Yep, there we go. So the first one we got is the Ice Method. which
Ooh.
let me zoom in here and see if I can get it. Yeah, there we go. So, pretty decent. It doesn't look very icy, if I'm being honest.
Nah, this could easily work as either an ice or a smoke method.
Yeah.
Or I think that's what the fire one is.
Yeah, smoke method or dust method, honestly, if it's just gross dust. But, I mean, it's well done. It's clear plastic with a bit of wash, so... so we'll go ahead and put that to the side. The next up is 10 of 46, which is a bullywug. And he looks pretty cool. He's got a little action pose going on. He's already leaping and he's showing off his little spear. I like the paint job on him. This set kind of confused both Chris and I because we weren't really 100% sure why it was coming out with Rime of the Frost Maiden having just came out. Snowbound didn't really make much sense, but I think they were just getting kind of filling some gaps in where some of the monsters that they had weren't already done. But so that is the second one, medium out of the mix. This one's got a little bit of bendiness, but this is 18 of 46. This is a Dryad. Really well done. I mean, it's green, so, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Anytime you got a figure who just has 2 legs as the base, you're going to get those bends.
Yeah. But I do like the plastic that they're doing. It is, I think, a better quality than some of the older, harder ones. So that's our Dryad. So the big one for this box is 31 of 46, and I might need to zoom out a bit so you can see the whole thing. Let me get it zoomed out a little bit. I already have a couple of these, but it is a Fomorian.
Yeah.
So
I still have my unpainted Fomorian that I need to get around to working on, but even though I have my art desk set up like literally what is going to be the space, the entire like 3 or 4 feet to my right, because it isn't super mandatory that I have to, you know, have it ready by a certain time, it's just covered in stuff right now.
yeah.
So I'll eventually get around to it.
He's got a good paint job. Oh! Well,
I think Fomorian is an interesting choice to keep re-releasing, because, like, I don't know if they pop up in too many adventures, but also they've released, like, 4 or 5 of them, I feel like. There probably isn't that many, but
they've released quite a few.
Yeah.
So, that's the big one for this set, or for that box. So that's one box done. Not a bad haul. I can already tell you the haul for the next box is very good. We will get to that in a second, though. I will get these small ones out real quick because they are packaged in bubble wrap. Tiny little things.
In the meantime.
Yeah, in the meantime.
Yeah, so I actually have my own D&D armoire to start filling up now because Liz and Arthur passed one on to me. But it's pretty much just going to be where all of my biggest things live that won't fit in my regular travel case, because this is where, like, I have a set of these drawers that, you know, all of my smaller guys fit really nicely into. They're about 3 inches tall, so I can lay a huge size base on its side and still be able to close the drawers with no problem. But, like, you know, a lot of the bigger minis these days will not fit in here. And this particular maker of this, like, container set doesn't make deeper drawers for the same, like, compatibility thing. So I can't just, like, keep stacking on with deeper ones, which kind of sucks, but...
Yeah.
Oh, well. I have the armoire now. The only thing living in it is Arviaturus right now.
which
It's
you got the worst one of the two, but WizKids did a really good job at quality control issues. They had released it, and it was more of a gray dragon than a white dragon, and they sent me a completely new one free of charge, and it's very pretty. And I gave Chris the other one. But they're good staple set pieces. I'm really excited for some of the work they got coming out. They got the gold dragon coming out soon. The green dragons should have been released already, but it hasn't. And from what I understand, the next ancient that we're getting is red. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, a lot of the work they've done is really good. And speaking of some of the recent work that they've done on dragons, 20 of 46, we got a Shardalin Pseudodragon.
Ooh.
He's a little tiny boy hanging out on a little book, little tome. Pretty standard paint job with the silver, but I mean, I really like the way it looks, and the book underneath him is actually really well done.
Yeah, useful just as any sort of little dragon
Yeah.
guy.
And fun to have around, good for a familiar, so really excited about that.
Familiar, homunculus, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
You can use it as so many different things. Useful little guy.
Yep, useful little man. So he is my first of that box. Let's go to our next one. We'll go with reverse Michael Jackson. So a Cambion. The paint job is relatively well done. He is, like I said, kind of reverse smooth criminal, leaning back.
It wasn't until he popped up on screen that I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Reverse Michael Jackson. Did he have a race change?
No. His spear is also a little flimsy, but that tends to happen with a lot of the weaponry. So, I mean, like I said, decent paint job. The back of the wings probably could have used a little bit of work, but definitely very useful. Cambions, I feel like, are getting more and more into the sphere of D&D, especially with some of the, media that surrounds D&D, having some of them in there. So definitely useful, really well done. Also just a good little devil if you wanted, like, a devil person. So good piece of set. This one I'm really excited about. They've released these in unpainted, and I've yet to see a painted one. I think there was a release in one of the Monster Menageries, but so the Cambion, just so everyone knows, is number 13 of 46, so still a common. And this is number 9 of 46, which is also a common, but a Mycodon adult. The paint job is pretty well done. I like the ombre effect on the top. It really kind of gives you that otherworldly feel with the... let's just say he's a fun guy to have around. But yeah, relatively well done. Useful if you're doing any Underdark campaigns or things like that. Myconids, I think, are very underused. I think they are an interesting race to use, and yeah.
I think the best thing about the Myconid inclusion in this set isn't so much just the adult itself, because that's really just the basic one. I think it's the spread, like, between the 3 different ones they gave. But we could probably talk more about that if you pop open either of the other 2.
Yeah. I know the Sovereign is in this set too, and that's a possible pick or draw. So
even though it's a rare?
Yeah, I think it's a rare. But yeah. This next one I'm definitely going to need to zoom out on, so bear with the camera work. I'm doing my best. I am really excited about this one because, ding, 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 this is what I will be painting for our next Mini Paint and Chill episode that's coming out. 3446, which I think is still uncommon, not a rare. But very well done on the paint job. I mean, really easy to get well or do well. So, like I said, 34 of 46, we have the Warforged Titan.
Ooh.
He's a big boy, and
That's
he looks
probably easily the second heaviest mini out of the set.
yeah, and he looks really good. He's got dings and scratches on him that look really really good. Is he too heavy for the turntable? He might be. Slowing down on me. But he was one that I was hoping I would pull. I have the unpainted version of him. I'll actually put it on right next to him. So that it's a little different in the way that it is angled.
Yeah,
and
they
its
usually pose it differently.
Yeah. But I mean, really well done. I like the little addition of the lightning bits, but that's what I'll be painting most likely on our next mini paint chill. So
Nice.
be on the lookout for that. I'm excited to get back into painting, and I'm excited to be back into doing streams and videos for you all. So
between the two, I definitely think I like the pose of the painted one more. It's just a more open pose. You can see its frontal features, whereas the other one's very closed off, and especially with that being the unpainted one, I can't imagine that would be as fun to paint as this one, which kind of sucks.
yeah.
Meanwhile, in the background, I'm opening up magic cards because I have a couple sets or a couple packs that I bought recently that I have just been waiting to open whenever.
Yeah.
And out of it, I got a extended art red dragon.
Hell yeah. Good.
It was in one of the
pull.
common slots.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Nothing too great out of this one. Got a mythic Minsk, but I already have a hollow of him. Hollow showcase celestial unicorn, and a list card. So something they've been doing is instead of the token / advertisement art card, you can get a card from the list, which is basically a bunch of different cards from different sets that are able to pop up as the random drop for your set. So this is from it's Fractured Power Stone. It's from some much older set. I don't recognize the set icon off the top of my head, but I've gotten a couple of them so far. I got a Boros card from Ravnica. I just got something else in one of the other packs. They're like a 1 in 4. You'll get it instead of the token, which is fine because the token cards I don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
I also got an art card of the Wandering Troubadour. The art cards are only popping up in the 12 count set boosters instead of the 15 count draft boosters. I'm glad to see this one because I keep getting duplicates of the same 2 or 3 art cards, which is the fucking Dryad and Minsk. Over and over, just those.
I've got a few art cards actually. I don't think out of all of those, I got 6 set boosters. I got the Gelatinous Cube, the Forest art card. I got Xanathar Guild Kingpin, the Displacer Beast, Blink Dog, and the Baleful Beholder. In the
bruh. I got a Zorn, and it has its fucking stats on the back. It has the D&D stats. How sick is that? Yo, that's fucking lit.
The Blink Dog I got, the Displacer Beast, and the Gelatinous Cube all have them. So the art cards for some of the monsters have them on the back, which is really cool.
Bruh.
But, alright, so I've undone this next pack. I'm going to put this in. This was actually something that came out in Rime of the Frost Maiden book. Also a little bendy. It looks like his right leg is a little broken, but number 1 of 46. So first one in the set, we got a Shardelyn Berserker, who's just your A standard, barbarian with a flail. You can see he is a little bendy to the side. The muscle work, you can see kind of well. I wish they would have put a little bit of wash on it to kind of accentuate it. But a good base berserker to use or bandit or anything like that.
It's a common. They're not going to give that much work to the paint job for a common. They're going to save those for your rares.
Yeah. And some of these are actually very well done. So That's number 1 of 46. So far, so good on the poll. I haven't had any duplicates yet. That's not going to last very
Got
long.
another
But,
mythic. Got a mythic Tiamat.
oh, damn.
Just the regular one, not like foil or anything, not the alt art. But I did get a foil uncommon Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. That sounds like the type of shit we'd be dealing with in our Tuesday game.
Possibly. We'll see. So next up, we've got 5 of 46. I'm really happy about this because there were a lot in the Boneyard set, and I need and want more. So this is specifically a Skeletal Sentinel, but can be used basically for any kind of skeleton need. I have got like 5 or 6 skeletons now. This will just add another one to it, and really just good low-level combat stuff. Well done on the paint job. The eyes are really well done. They've got like really just very small dots of white that kind of pull out the undead aspect of it. I love the skeletons they've been coming out recently because they have like pieces of armor on them and they're not just like, skeletons that you would think would be a mini. So yeah, good mini. I like it. I think it looks really good.
I think what's funny about this one compared to some of the other skeletons, I learned this from the Gallant Goblin unboxing video, is that the art for the art that this one's based off of is actually referencing a frost giant skeleton.
Yeah, it does kind of look like the frost giant skeleton from Realm of the Frost Maiden.
No, it literally is.
Yeah, I like his little
they
pick.
just scaled it down because.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather have a regular skeleton than another frost giant skeleton.
Yeah.
You only need so many of them. They just put one out in the other set anyway.
Yep. So next up is 15 out of 46. I'm actually really happy with this because, again, we don't have a lot of minis that are this, except unpainted, and I think maybe 1 or 2 in other sets. But 15 of 46 is Diva, and the wings look really good on it. It's kind of got a flying forward pose. Just not a lot of Celestials. You don't get a lot of Celestial minis.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time since we've had this figure.
Mm-hmm. And I know the Solar is in this set too, I think.
Yeah, the old Diva that they used to use is based off of the art from one of the other books. I think it's more of the like harsher blue skin. A little more Dr. Manhattan looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's good. Great sculpt.
And the paint job's pretty good on it too. I like the flowing robe off the back. It looks, like it's within the action. The mace is done really well.
I feel like the black wash on the yellow is never really a good choice though. It always just makes it look dirty, and for a Celestial, I don't know if that's really the best choice. They probably should have gone with a brown wash instead of a black, but they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Yeah,
it does look a little dark brown. It may just be the white balance, but I mean, looks good. So the last one, this is a named PC mini, but the mini itself just looks really cool. So I think this is the rare that we got because it's 43 of 46. And you usually only get 1 rare per brick. There's always an opportunity that you get more than 1. I think when we did Boneyard, we got 2 because we got the Sibriex and Nightwalker was Fangs and Talons. Regardless, this
Which
mini
of the 3 is that?
Is called Venaranda, which I think is a living suit of armor with a brain in a jar as the runner. It looks
it's essentially
really cool.
a helmed horror.
Yeah,
but not quite.
I think it looks incredible. The paint job on it is like the metal's dark, which is really nice, and that yellow kind of accentuates it. I think it's made of the same material like Shardelin. I think it's made of Shardalin. But I mean, the sword is wicked. The the jar on the top of the sculpt is like that translucent plastic, so it just looks really good.
It is kind of weird for him to be on a large base when he's not crazy large, but
he's not very big. It's a little bit more manageable than the Anathema, which I just can't get over how small that mini was for how big the base is. But yeah, that's our third big boy. So 3 boxes down, 5 to go, and so far a pretty good haul. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep our streak of getting the last mini of the set like we have been the past 2, but I am not upset. And all props to Miniature Market. They're very fast with getting stuff to me. So I found a local game shop that I'm going to be buying stuff from now, which is really exciting. So be on the lookout for when the new sets come out. I will probably not be as fast as other people because a lot of other people get their stuff early release because they are actually, sponsored, and we are not. So, but hopefully on the horizon, something we might be able to do. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and get this guy out of the way. Our first duplicate, again, not very upset with it, is another Skeletal Sentinel. Really well done. Really, really like it. The other minis in this box I'm really excited about. So you've already seen him. You know and love him. Skeletal Sentinel. Lean back with it, though. So. All right. Next in line, let's see. Which one should I do? I'll do 6 of 46. This is another common, but this is Duergar Hammer, which I really like because there are not enough Duergar minis. And I have a Duergar, and here's another Duergar that I'll have. Really cool. If you haven't read up on the stat block for this creature, do.
Yeah, these things are dark.
Yeah, it's creepy, but really cool. The mini's really well done. I love the sculpt because it kind of plays into that creepiness with like the big claw, but the kind of stoutness of a dwarf with that hammer just kind of raised up and ready to strike. So, I mean, really, like we've talked about this multiple times over the past few unboxing streams that we've done. The sculpts that are coming out are just better and better. The paint job is sometimes hit or miss, but it's definitely trending in a good direction.
Yeah, I feel like this guy, just from looking at him on screen, he could probably definitely use some dry brushed highlights to really bring some of that texture out, because it's sort of more of just a silhouette than anything else, but knowing it from the art, there's a lot of little details in there that would be really nice to have those pop out.
Yeah.
Plus his base sort of just blends into the same color as the armor.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of the white balance on the camera because it is a little bit more easy to define like in person, but I agree. Some of the highlights to just kind of break up the monotony would be really good. But yeah, that's number 6 of 46, so a common, and a really good one at that. So next up, our last small one of the set. I already have one of these because there's another one that was released, but I'm going to put this one up, and this will continue the fact that I have all stages of this dragon's lifespan, but a white dragon wormling. Yep. It is a little gray, but if you read up on the lore behind white dragons, it does state that as time moves on, they do get kind of white and blue and gray at times. Well done with the teeth. The teeth look really nice and kind of break up the monotony of the kind of just dull tone that the wormling is. I like the maneuvering of this one a little better. The kind of dynamic aspect of it is really nice.
Yeah, super good pose.
Yeah, pose is good. Paint job definitely could do a little bit better with.
Seems a little interesting that it's obvious that they molded it in so many different pieces and then they glued together, because it's like It doesn't. A pretty small mini. I'm not sure if it was super necessary to have his head be two separate pieces,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, still not a bad mini. I'm not upset. Like I said, he'll go up on my shelf with the other white dragons that I have. So, and he's 23 of 46, so he's an uncommon. And our big boy of this is also an uncommon. Not upset about it because this mini's just kind of cool, and would be fun to use. But we got the good old axe beak with some packs.
nice.
Looks good. Paint job's really nice. The feathering, like Chris said before, and for some of the things that we've seen, just because he could have used a wash, just kind of give it more of that, shading that just makes it look like it's, real life. But the packs on the back look really good. The overall color scheme of it and like the dark pieces of it that kind of ombre into the light pieces looks really good. But yeah, just a little bit more shade and wash, and you would be a-okay. But not upset with it. Looks really good. Excited. So, all right.
I just love seeing animals with packs on them because it makes it seem like, they're animals that live in the world more so than just being monsters. They're not just things to fight. Like, you can see that this thing is a domesticated animal.
Yep, and that people use it for actual structure. So that is halfway through the box, or through the brick, and so far only one duplicate. And as I say that, there's a second one that I just pulled. The big one for this one is actually really cool too. I don't think it's on the box set, the picture, but yeah. So let me go ahead and get the duplicate out of the way. Another myconid adult, which again you can't really have enough of because they're uncommonly rare to find, but very very useful if you have something that, or have a party that runs into a myconid colony. So not upset about it. All right, let's see. Who should we do first? 2 of 46. So I don't know a lot of this creature's backstory. And I don't know if Chris does or not, but
I can't see what's on screen yet because it's buffering.
Well, I'm still holding it. So 2 of 46. It's a Demos Magen. And
yeah. Again, what I know from this is what I picked up from the Gallant Goblin video. They are basically, they're sort of like homunculuses in that, like, they're something that's created. And they're generally connected to that spoilery, sort of long ago area that pops up in the later part of, Rime of the Frost Maiden. One thing that's interesting about them is that when they're created by a wizard, the wizard loses like a number of their max hit points permanently, equal to the challenge rating of the demos that got made. So there's like the 3 different types, and I think they're like challenge rating either 1, 2, and 3, or 2, 3, and 4. Which for like a high level wizard, sure, but that's definitely one way to prevent someone from just spending a lot of time and trying to use downtime to create a fucking army. It's like, nope, you have a finite amount of resource that you can dedicate towards this, and once it's gone, and also you'll probably be dead.
Yep. So I don't know a lot about them, but like Chris just said, there's information. Gallant Goblin does a really good job at giving you a lot of the lore behind the minis, so feel free to check them out. They're an awesome group, and they do a lot of stuff on Twitch too, so you should follow them on Twitch. But yeah, could be used for really anything, just, a cool guy with a sword, but All right, the next one is 22 of 46, which is a Duergar, a part of that group of Aloths that they've been
Yugoloths.
that they've been releasing a lot of. I've got an Arcanoloth mini, very interesting lore behind them. Definitely read up on it in the monster manual. They have a very interesting fiendish aspect to them because they are fiends, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
But
they're the neutral
not.
fiends.
Yeah, they're not devils or demons. They're just kind of the in betweens. They're mercenaries, basically.
Neutral evil
Yeah.
fiends.
But cool mini. Again, a lot of these minis in this set are really just releasing things that don't have a mini currently, that have a stat block. So, not upset with it. Anytime you get a new mini, you have something that you can put into a game. So, exciting stuff. All right, last one, big boy of this set is 2746. I don't know too much about the specifics of this, besides the base stats of the creature, but it is a spitting mimic. It looks like a little stalagmite. The tendrils coming out, the tongue kind of moving. Looks good. I mean, the paint job's very well done, and props to WizKids for finding a way to put dynamicism into something that is literally just a stone with a mouth. Because I like the way it looks. Could also be used as a roper mini if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Yes, the Cliffy Show. It is a rock with a mouth.
And two tentacles.
And two tentacles, yeah. But the tongue looks good. The teeth look really good. And like I said, honestly, the paint job is very, very close to what Dwarvenforge is. So you could put that on a map backwards, and I don't think your players would be able to notice besides the fact that there's a clear base. So really, really good mini. Super, super happy with the pull so far. That's 5 boxes down. We got 3 more to go. Thank you for all of those of you who are joining us. If you're new here, please follow the channel. We've got more stuff coming on the horizon. We're kind of getting back into the swing of things. Sorry there's no music right now. Trying to save money as we move. But we appreciate all of you being here and hope that you come to join us next time when we do our mini painting, which should be on Thursday, barring any big problems. But yeah. All right. Happy with the big boy in this box too. But let's get these small ones out of the way. Let me just... Chris is probably going to help me out with the lore on some of these because I do not know the lore on a lot of these. But all new ones, no replicates, which is exciting. Duplicates, sorry.
Sorry, Maze Runner fans, no replicants here.
So I think this is also... This might be a rare...
Did I say Maze Runner? Blade Runner.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. This is also a named character. I don't know a lot about her, but 38 of 46, which I think might be on the cusp of rare, but is an uncommon, is Dolpha, who looks just like a stout little Duergar grandmother.
Yeah, she's one of the multiple potential things for Frost Maiden. It's not even guaranteed that you're going to run into her. I think she's the leader of one of the Duergar groups who you're only going to come into contact with if you are in one of those specific 10 towns that she's there in. So, like, there's a good chance that you might run that campaign and not ever run into her.
Would be cool for, like, maybe a hag mini, like a dwarfed night hag. but I mean, she looks really cool. Paint job's relatively decent. She got a lot of stuff on her front that's painted decently well. Not too unhappy. It's, unique minis are always fun because you can just make a character for them. So that is Grand Dolpha, 38 of 46. All right, next up. Ooh, I don't know a lot about these, but I know something was released as a kind of small supplicant piece of work that Wizard of the Coast did. 25 of 46 is a Lokatha.
Lokatha, yeah,
Lokatha,
supplementary.
Yeah.
Supplicant, I think, is a completely different word.
Look, it's been a long day. I'm gonna use words. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I know there's something about it, but
they are a player race. I think they're super like happy-go-lucky. That they're like chill and laid back, which is funny because he's wielding a spear. Just goofy fish people, I think.
Goofy fish people is the best kind of fish people.
It's hard to tell with the sculpt of this one. It almost looks like his eyes aren't painted.
Yeah, there's very little delineation between.
They have really big expressive eyes in the art.
Hold on. It's like he's missing a top piece.
That also could be it, because the square sort of part of it definitely looks like a keyed plug for his top part of his head to go on. I'm pretty sure he's missing his.
He is, but I don't know if I got.
I wouldn't be surprised. Quality control still falls short sometimes.
Yep.
That's okay.
That's all good. Yeah. I don't think I have his eyepiece. Well, that's unfortunate, but it happens. So, missing his top half, but still living. All right.
Probably not nearly as useful of a mini now.
Yeah, unless you have a decapitated one of them. So next up we've got 8 of 46, which is actually super, super, super cute and cool. A Griffin Hatchling.
Oh yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites from the set.
Yeah.
Again, I just like animals that show that there's more to the world than just here is this monster stat block.
Exactly. And it'd be really cool to have that like as a part of something, especially if you're thinking about using it in any way. Have it be like a mini that's on the map as you're like going into a griffin's nest and they're like, oh, this griffin's been attacking our town, you need to take care of it. And it's like it's attacking the town because it's got a baby and it's got to make sure that it's safe and you guys are in its territory. So well done paint job. I think it looks incredible. I think it is a very cute mini. Useful, absolutely. Just fun to look at, fun to use. So Griffin Hatchling, 8 of 46. Good old common. Hopefully I get a couple of them because that'd be cool. All right, so the big boy of this one, super excited because I have a lot of them, or a lot of variations of them. 26 of 46, we have the Ice Troll. Who
I love the way this one looks.
Yeah, it looks really cool. One. Two, again, you can never have enough trolls. I think that they are a very, very underused creature. But I love them. I've got the Venom Troll. I have the Dire Troll that came out with, was it last set? I've got, the regular Troll. I really want the Spirit Troll. I kind of just want the whole Troll set. But it's the same thing as like Giants. I think Giants are really underused. But yeah, he's relatively.
I mean, except for when they get the whole adventure path centered around them.
Yeah.
Storm King's Thunder.
But really cool mini. The paint job's well done. I think it's unique, and the face is actually, you can't really see it too much because of the angle, but face is really well done, and the inner ears and teeth are done well too. So super happy with that as well. All right, we are getting.
Yeah, this guy gives good like Skyrim vibes if you
Yeah.
wanted to like Skyrimify your D&D game. But he also looks like he's wearing a fur diaper, so you know, you win some, you lose some.
Sometimes, yeah. All right, we are on our second to last box. I'm saving one of the heavier boxes. I think we pulled the heaviest mini that we were going to pull out of this set with that Warforged Titan. But let's go ahead and get this done. Again, not too upset with the large minis. Some of the commons, though, I don't know too much about, so pardon me for not knowing my knowledge. I am very well versed in many things, but sometimes I just don't know everything, and that's okay. All right, no duplicates on the small boys, which is really good. We're gonna start with him because I don't know a lot about him. 5 of 46. This is a Galvan Magen. Little floating mini boy with 2 little balls of energy. Again, I don't know too much about the lore on these guys. Chris gave a little bit of information on them earlier, so sorry. I'll make sure with the next set that we get that I will read up on my lore and have all of it ready for you all. But just a cool mini. Could be used as a storm sorcerer. Could be used as a Kraken priest. But, you know, again, unique, something new, which is really nice and useful. Could be used as like an evil mage or a regular mage or whatever you want, but looks really good and is pretty decently common. All right, next up we'll go with this one. 16 of 46. I don't have any of these minis, surprisingly enough. Gargoyle. The paint job leaves a little bit to be, wanted. Not really any shading. Desired. Yeah, sorry. Again, very long day. Sorry, y'all. I spent a lot of money and bought a snake, so getting that set up was a little harrying. But yeah, really, really cool dynamic mini. I don't have any gargoyles, so this is a really good addition to the mass that I have already.
I forgot that this guy came out in this set.
Yeah. And they're elementals, if I remember correctly, right?
Hmm?
Yeah. So, useful for any of you who grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. Great show. Yeah. Great mini. Again, just really wish they put some shading on it.
If you actually wanted minis of the characters from the show, they just released a board game for that, and they have pretty good minis of all of them.
Yeah, I also need some board game recommendations, so anyone in chat, if you want to throw some board game recommendations, we have a new house, so we need some more stuff, and I don't have my friends with me. Sure.
Oh yeah, we've been specifically choosing our furniture choices based off of the amount of storage that we're going to be getting. So like we got a IKEA couch that the chaise section of the sectional lifts up and has storage under it. So the majority of my board games are sitting under there now, with the remainder being like on the entertainment center under the TV.
Yeah.
But we just bought a coffee table that basically is entirely storage, and the 2 halves of the top like hinge upwards to get it out. And that's definitely going to fit pretty much everything in it there. So we'll definitely have room to expand as we might get a few more games here in the future, but I don't really have money for new board games right now.
Yeah. I am saving up money to get them. We just bought Munchkin, and I'm going to go pick up Boss Monster from our local game store. So buy local if you can. But yeah. All right.
Both good choices.
Yeah. 39 of 46. This might also be a rare. I don't know how many rares are in the set. But I'm happy with this because I love this creature and I throw it at parties that I play with as often as possible. Paint job leaves a little to be desired again, but still a good mini to have is a Sea Hag.
Nice.
Which they have released before. The Critical mini set that came out released a Sea Fury, which is kind of just an amped up Sea Hag. But I really like this mini. Also, I apologize for those of you who are watching on the stream. I know it's probably really choppy. I don't know why. I have a direct connection between the PC and my router. So I'm sorry if you're only catching bits and pieces. Hopefully the VOD is a little better, but we'll just have to see.
There are 12 rares in the set, by the way.
12 rares. Okay, then I got 3 because Grandolpha's definitely one.
Yeah, 30. Everything 35 and up.
So Grandolpha. So I got 3 rares so far. The Sea Hag, the Warforged Titan, and
Warforged Titan is uncommon.
Oh,
Venaranda, the helm horror guy.
Venaranda, yeah. So Sea Hag, that's my 3rd rare of this brick, which again, never have gotten anything bad from Miniature Market. So if you can't buy local, buy from them or a store that you really like. 29 of 46, so uncommon. Useful. Absolutely. Another one I think Chris will really like is a polar bear.
Oh, yeah. They've released a couple new polar bears. They did one in the summon / wild shape set that I think is a different pose. Wheeler, I think your audio cut out.
Did it?
For a second. I didn't hear anything you had just said, but I heard you say did it.
I did stop talking for a second, so that might have been it.
I have no idea.
Yeah. They have been releasing a lot of things. Recently, they came out with a big haul of the Critical minis. Got 7 different sets. Wild Beyond the Witchlights, obviously the next set that's coming out. I'll be getting a brick of that. The Summon Creatures one is a big one that just recently came out. But yeah, polar bears, good to have. It's one of those creatures that can be wild shaped into, polymorph. Just a good all around mini to have in your set or your case or whatever you hold your stuff in. But yeah, not too bad with the boxes so far. Final box of the set. I'm also happy with this. I do have one of these, but this is a creature, the big creature in this set. I think it's something you probably would need more than one of anyway, especially if you're trying to do a challenge. But we'll get to that. Wow, I'm actually not upset with this set. I got 1 or 2 duplicates. That was it in this brick. So, yeah. Starting with the last box, how we started the first box, but different kind. We have a dust method, which has a little bit of a translucent plastic on the back, kind of giving it that airy aspect to it. Methods are also elementals, very low challenge rating. Really good for, small nuisances.
Generally, you're going to see them in swarms, so you would want a bunch of these.
Yeah.
Unless you were using just one miniature to represent the swarm. Which, you can do in a pinch.
Yeah. But, I mean, good mini. Not too hard to paint, but, I mean, it still looks good. So, super excited about that one. This next one, I'm interested in how I would get to use it. But really cool mini. The paint job, you're not going to get much on it, so that's fine. Also, that dust method, for those of you who want to know, is 11 of 46. This next one is 7 of 46, and is a Psychic Gray Ooze. And the sculpt looks really cool. like I said, you're not really going to get much more than just a blob of material. But especially some of the oozes they've been releasing recently, Dungeon the Mad Mage on. The gray oozes that I have in there are very dynamic with the pseudopods. The Elder Black Pudding that I got from the Boneyard set is very dynamic and very pretty. Obviously, the gelatinous cube is just a cube, but still a cool mini to have. But yeah, the little drips that it has kind of in it on the tendril and just the overall layout of it looks really cool. I do like that the mini actually spreads out past the base. Kind of gives it a cool effect. But yeah, I'm really happy with that mini. I love oozes too. They're one of my favorites. So next up, 19 of 46. I don't have one of these specifically, but I have more of these minis now, and I really want to use them because they're really cool. Is a Nullfang of Yunogu.
Ooh, yeah, this is one of the ones that you hadn't pulled yet that I was hoping you'd see.
Yeah, really, really cool sculpt, and honestly, the paint job is not bad at all. Just a different stat block to throw in with the gnolls. I have a lot of gnolls. I've got a couple flins as well. And just kind of spice things up, and again, just kind of throw that extra stat block that's just kind of beefed up a little bit. It's just fun. I love gnolls. Currently rewatching or re-listening to, I should say, Critical Role Campaign 2, and we're kind of in that Mineshaft gnolls moment. So really cool to have a mini to kind of put a picture to. But yeah, wearing like a little wool or like hide shirt, just kind of gnarly. All right, last mini. Thanks for sticking around, and if you missed any of it, the VOD will be up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Hopefully not as splotchy and cut as it probably has been. Number 32 of 46. Chris, you actually gave me my first one of these. Might have to zoom out a little bit, but it's a hill giant. Definitely have to zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not surprised they gave you one. Hill giants are some of my least favorite monsters to deal with. I don't hate this sculpt though. I think of all of them, this is probably my favorite one.
This or was it the Gale Force 9 or was it the case incentive that had the hill giant king?
Oh, Chief Guh. Oh, yeah. I hate that one. That one's the one that's just glooping onto a giant chair.
Yeah.
That's basically just terrain. That's not even a monster.
Yeah, this one has a little bit more dynamic aspect to it and really kind of shows the kind of dullness of hill giants. Again, I really wish they would have put a just brown wash on here to kind of give some of the folds in the skin a little bit more, just oomph. But
look at that. Looks like Fred Flintstone took steroids. Yabba dabba doo, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Barney.
Overall, though, now that we've pulled all the minis from the brick, I'm not upset with it. 2 duplicates, one of them being a Skeletal Sentinel, which you can never have too many skeletons. And 2 Myconids, which again, you can never really have too many Myconids because they're just so rare to get.
Yeah, and they're always things that you're going to encounter in groups.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we did last time with the sets that we got.
So I think there's only a couple things that I didn't see you get that I think would have been nice for you to grab. The Cold Light Walker is basically just the mini itself is just a dude who's real bundled up in furs, has a big hood on.
The Snow Golem I was kind of wanting to get. For some reason,
I don't know why. They look awful.
I just to have it, to be able to use it. For some reason, on Minis Gallery Forum, apparently the Awakened Tree is the big get in this set, and it's a rare. That looks cool.
I don't see why.
The Goblin Battle Wagon looks
fucking
really
great.
cool. That's a really cool mini in this. I got five of the minis off of the pictures of the box in this brick. And that's the White Dragon Wormling, Nullfang of Yinogu, the Galvan Magen, the Skeletal Sentinel, and the Warforged Titan. So, like we've done, like I said, last few bricks that we've gotten, we'll go through best paint job, worst paint job, most unique, most useful, and least useful. And we'll start with the bad of the pack, I guess. We'll go from worst to best. Least useful.
Probably the Lokatha with its missing head.
Yep, I'm going to have to agree with you. Of all of these, I will probably use most of them, but the Lokatha with a missing headpiece, no eyeballs in sight. Thanks, WizKids. I appreciate your work. No, but yeah, I don't see myself using this, especially missing the headpiece. Might I use it as like a joke in like a one shot that I do? Yeah. I'll have some like magical thing that's happened to a Lokatha where it can speak, but it's missing half of its head or something. I don't know. But yeah, least useful is definitely got to be that one. Could be better if it had the headpiece on, and might change my mind on it. But yeah, just can't do it. Worst.
Lokatha, they're basically like Chibi Sahuagin.
Yeah.
Why?
All right, least useful.
Or you mean worst paint job?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, worst paint job. Ooh.
I didn't get nearly as good a look at them as you did.
Worst paint job. I understand why the Gargoyle is the color that it is, so I'm not gonna pick that one. Cause like it's.
I appreciate it. That's like more of a sandstony color as
Yeah.
opposed to the like bluish gray that they've all done before.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm gonna have to go with the White Dragon Wormling. It's gray.
That's fair.
It is gray. It is not white. There's no delineation between the membrane on the wing and the spines of the wing. There's no like white tips to the claws on the wing. It's just, out of everything here, I mean, most of it has some change in color that gives it kind of that decent, at least look to it. And this just doesn't have that. So
yeah, they give it like a spotty brown wash that really doesn't do anything for it and doesn't really make too much sense.
Yeah. So that's gonna be my pick.
The one thing that I know would win worst paint job if you had pulled it is the Quaggoth, because it's like that bright fucking seafoam blue, which is another of the Yuan-Ti Anathema moments where I see what they were looking at in the art of the Monster Manual, and I can understand how they reached that idea, but also it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Quaggoth is supposed to be basically white with some, like, slight tinge, but no, this one is just straight up, like, cotton candy blue.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad that you didn't pull that one.
Yeah, there's a few things that I wish I would have
awful.
pulled just to be able to look at it, but, you know, it is what it is. You get a brick, and that's about it. So that's my worst paint job. We'll go most useful.
Skeletons are never not useful. I think the floating mage is probably up there as well.
Yeah, if I had to pick between the two, though, I'm gonna go with the Skeletal Sentinels. They're just, again, I have a lot of skeletons now, and that's good because they're good for low level combat, and they're one of those things, kind of like the Mephits, where you can just add them into an encounter to be an extra nuisance that isn't really much of a threat to your party, but is enough to pull them away from attacking like a main boss or something like that. So relatively
Yeah.
well done paint
Alternatively,
job.
I think the Berserker probably comes up there as a close third as well.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, any bandit, enemy, generic guy,
Anything.
it's gonna work.
Yeah, anything like that. And when we bought, a case in the past between Chris and I, one of the things that he's had me actually starting to look for is like commons in a set. If you can get commons in a set where they are useful in multiple things, or even if it's like not the exact stat block, but the mini itself makes sense in other things, it's a worthwhile case to get, or at least set to get some boxes of. So that's my most useful. Best paint job.
I mean, you don't have an easy standout like the Sibriex or anything this
Yeah,
time.
that had like the oozy aspect to it.
The Spitting Mimic definitely looked pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's Axebeak, they put quite a bit of work into for it only being an uncommon, but like you said, a lot of the actual feather work could be a little bit better. Obviously, anytime that they have rares, they're gonna put more work into the rares.
Yeah.
So that's sort of unfair.
I honestly am gonna go against all of that, and I'm gonna go with the Myconid. Cause
that's fair.
It's got color to it, and color's always hard to kind of get right in minis, especially bright colors, because usually they'll overdo it. But I have to say that the work they did on the Myconid, especially like the headpiece, looks like a mushroom. Like it has the essence of like what mushrooms naturally look like. And sure, the face is a little awkward and like some of the work is a little splotchy, but overall, out of everything,
it's pretty accurate to the art from the book.
Yeah, and
it's pretty bold of them to go for that wet blending on the head because it's a big focal piece, so pretty bold.
Yeah, and it just looks good, and I'm glad I got two of them because the paint job's slightly different on them, which is really cool. They're almost identical, but just like some of the nuances and some of the paint just looks really good. So that's my best paint job. Now, most unique. It's hard to pick one.
In a good way or in a bad way?
In a good way. It's hard to pick one, but I can say this: almost every mini that I got that is metallic in some way is unique. The Venaranda mini is really, really well done. The Shardalin Pseudodragon is also just very well done. But honestly, most unique, I'm going to have to give it to the first rare that we pulled. And the Warforged Titan. It's just...
uncommon, not a rare.
Oh, uncommon, yeah. My bad. Uncommon.
Which means that in a case, you're going to get a couple of them.
Which is good, because, like, you could use these for really anything. You don't have to do the Warforged Titan stat block. And it just...
yeah,
it
pretty
looks...
much any big construct fucker, you can just drop it down for.
Yeah, anything. And the little addition of, like, the electrical output on the hammer is just really cool. The scratches on it that show it's been, like, battle tested look just really, really good. Yeah, I'm happy that I got that. That, like I said, I have the unpainted one. I'll be painting it on stream probably within the next week. So be on the lookout for that, and make sure you follow us on our socials to keep up to date on all the stuff that we've got coming out. But like, it looks good, plain and simple, and I'm really happy with it. The mouthpiece I probably will add some darker pieces into on mine unpainted one to kind of give it that like hollow look in some of it. But yeah, that's definitely my pick for most unique. Honorable mention, Chris talked about it just a second ago.
It also does stick out even within the set itself because it's the only Eberron based mini.
Yeah.
Whereas the others are sort of generic Monster Manual Mordenkainen's and Frost Maidens. But that one is just like, yeah, we didn't really have a place to fit it in the Eberron set, so we're just going to put it here.
Yeah. But honorable mention, the Spitting Mimic. It's just, it's a well done paint job. There's not much more to say about it. But it can be useful as a mimic, as a roper. I mean, it's really up to you. But yeah, that's all that I've got. We finished the brick, so Chris, if you have anything you want to say.
I think the other one mini that would have been interesting to pull, just at least to talk about, is the Verbeeg. And the reason that I think it's such an interesting mini to bring back is because the Verbeeg are basically an older giantkin that was more prevalent back in like first edition, second edition. They make some appearances in like the Crystal Shard, you know, the earlier Driss novels. They're around Icewind Dale, which is why they're obviously being brought back. My confusion is that I had assumed that the Furbolg player race was the direction that Wizards of the Coast took that monster idea in, because it's pretty much the same word. Verbeeg, Furbolg, it's obviously coming from the same root. If you look at them, they're pretty much the same. They're like 8-9 foot tall humanoids. They're not quite like giants. They're based off of the same like root idea, so it's interesting to see this sort of variant of it brought back, because it's sort of just juxtaposed next to the more modern take of the Furbolg, and yeah, I would love to pick some designers' brains as to how and why this was being brought back this way.
Yep.
Not that I'm arguing, because it could easily be just a Furbolg player mini, if you wanted.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I'll have to look back at the set just to see. But yeah, that'll do it for us here, especially since the frames are starting to drop pretty drastically. Sorry if it was a little bit choppy, but we appreciate you guys being here. For those of you who are new, please follow the channel for all of our new stuff that's coming out. If you haven't already, subscribe. We've got some stuff that's available for subscribers. Twitch Prime subscribe if you can. It's free. And if you haven't done it already, you can use it for that. But thanks for being here with this resurrection. Sorry for the kind of ramshackle setup, trying to get things situated with the move. But we appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for joining, and have a good night. So,
good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Hi, honey. Hello.